are CMP exams easy or hard? What are your thoughts, Jason?
I think that, and now I'm going back to the first time that I got scheduled for one, right? The unknown. Mm-hmm. So anytime there's the unknown, it's hard. It's difficult. You don't know what to expect. It's scary, right? You're worried. You hear a horror story. So I'm going to go with it's hard when you're not aware, right? After you've done a couple, you're like, when is this thing going to happen? Let's go, right? I think that, and again, look, this is why we do these channels that we do. This is why you, Clay, always talk about being the educated veteran going through this process. I'll tell you what, that the education, the understanding, the hearing a few stories, the what to expect aspect of anything is going to help alleviate the stress a little bit, right? The fact that they call it an exam, right? And I get it. It's, you go to a doctor's exam, you get a physical exam, all of those things. But the word exam itself creates a tension and stress in people. Oh my God, I'm going to be, and I'm filing for something. I'm going to get a quiz. I'm going to, I can't bring in any notes. I got to, and it's not, I don't know. It's not as bad as some people make it seem out to be. I mean, you can get a crappy CMP examiner. I get it. But I mean, I think that, and look, I'm trying to be careful here. Some people will say, look, here is the absolute worst case scenario, and that's what you got to expect. They got cameras outside their buildings. They see you walking, and they know that you're the one who's coming in for the CNP exam, and they saw that you tied your shoe outside the vehicle, and when you came in, you sat down and you didn't even squeal. Oh, you don't have a back problem, so you better come in. And so then you got people that are getting out of their cars at CNP exams going, okay, I can't. Okay, they're watching me already, and that's just weird to me. It's not, and that all that does is create anxiety and stress for everybody. And I don't think that it's that. You can go in, you can be nice to the people, you can be cordial, right? I mean, I was, and I never had an issue, right? All the issues that I had, and I can point to as a result of my CMP exam, in fact, because I effed it up in the CMP exam, that was me. I'm the one who screwed it up. I said the wrong thing. I didn't expand enough. I didn't give them the signs and symptoms that correlated with the schedule of ratings. My bad, right? I didn't know. I found out later. Then I had to undo it, and that was a pain. But it was because I was uneducated in the process. Now, if I was educated in the process, easy, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't the CMP examiner that screwed me over, in my opinion, for my own personal situation, right? Again, super nuanced, Clay. Everybody has a different story. Every CMP examiner is different. The half of mine were done by the VA, and the other half were done through QTC. And I never had an issue with any of them where I disagreed. Even the ones, again, that I disagreed with, I could go back in my mind and go, okay, well, really, I messed that up, for one. And two, I felt, and this is where we get wrapped around the axle, I felt like they screwed me over, and thus I got a lower rating. That sucks. But then I read the schedule of ratings like, no, I don't want a higher rating. This is it. This is just the way the schedule of ratings is written. Nobody can do anything about that. I mean, I can make my condition could get worse, sure. But I'm already, it's like somebody who goes in, Clay, and says, I'm pissed. My tinnitus pisses me off so much. It sucks so bad. And they gave me 10%. Those bastards.
I've seen that.
They suck. They totally downgraded me and gave me a shitty 10%. Screw the VA. Well, you and I know that's all you can get. They gave you the maximum. Well, I mean, it's the only rating, but you get the point, right? So we get in our own minds that we're getting screwed over, and it's like, no, that's the way. Work with Congress to get them to get the VA to change what the rating schedules are. I mean, that's the only workaround on that. So anyway, that was my little soapbox. Now that I'm trying to remember what I even said, I'll kick it back to you, Clay.
Yeah, so I actually want to break down what you said because I think
I hope you remembered it.
I did. I do.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so I have chickens. For those that don't know, the rooster's name's Stan, and I have 3 hens. This is what it sounds like when they're having eggs. Look, my studio's in my little shop area. On the other side is a small chicken coop. So that's what that is. Eventually it'll stop. And so here we go. Whatever. It's entertaining. So I apologize. Let's jump into it. Here's what the big deal is. If you prepare, if you are educated, the CMP exam's not that difficult. What you need to do, the 2 things is 1, read your schedule of ratings for your specific condition. You should have done that if you've watched our videos, even before you filed your claim, but let's pretend you didn't. Read it now. Very important. Treat this like it is a multi-million-dollar deal and invest a little bit of time, because it really could be a multi-million-dollar deal. You're talking about a tremendous amount of money. I mean, if you're talking about, let's say if you're 100%, you did the math on a 10%. If you're 100%, call it 4,000, call it 50,000 a year in 10 years, that's 500, that's over 500, that's 600 million or 600,000. So 20 years is now $1.2 million tax-free. Gross that up. Now you're close to 2 million. You got your other benefits that come with that are going to pay out more. You have all of your Chapter 35, your Champ VA, all of that. This is a big deal. Invest a little bit of time. So read the schedule of ratings regarding your condition. Understand it. Print it out. Write it down. Take it with you to the CMP exam. There's nothing wrong with bringing notes about your condition. This is a big deal that's going to affect you, your family, for the rest of your life. The second thing you should do, what I would suggest, is print out the DBQ, disability questionnaire, for your specific ailment. Okay. If it's GERD, you're going to go to your digestive systems one, and it'll be in there somewhere. It'll have things about GERD. If it's migraines, there's a migraine one for neurological stuff, and there'll be migraine questions. Read through it. What the VA is doing here is essentially they're going to have an examiner, a CNP examiner, complete a DBQ regarding you and your condition. What they're trying to figure out here is where you're going to fall on the rating schedule. Well, guess what? You read the rating schedule. So now you know the answers that need to go in there need to come from that rating schedule, not over here. I mean, you can add that other stuff in, but you want to make sure that you're dialed in to that rating schedule, because the VA is then going to utilize the examiner's report to weigh against the schedule of ratings to decipher where you fall as far as a rating is concerned. So if you do those 2 things, you read the rating schedule for your condition, figure out which rating you should be at based on the signs and symptoms. You know you better than anybody. Read that. Secondly, do that DBQ question so you can understand what kind of questions you're going to be asked roundaboutly. Some of them are exact, some of them are a little bit different, but it's going to give you this sense of preparedness. You're going to be ready, okay? You're going to go in and you're going to feel comfortable having that conversation. And if you want to take a little pressure off, let the examiner know when you get in there. They're going to be like, so how are you today? I'm good. Okay, well, let's get into that. Okay, great. I did bring some notes because, this is really important to me. I just want to make sure I get everything across to you appropriately. Oh, yeah, whatever. They don't care, okay? But for you to feel like you're not being weird looking at notes, say something like that. Again, it's anything to help take the pressure off of you in that environment. Now I got quiet chickens. Back to you, Clay.
Yeah. Total offshoots. Have you ever played Zelda, The Legend of Zelda? Ocarina of Time?
Look, I'm old, man. I played it when it was on Nintendo back in the day.
Okay, so I have a Nintendo 64 at the house, and I still have the original. But there's a level in there where there's a bunch of chickens, and you have to put them in the coop. And they sounded exactly like that. Background noise is exactly what it is.
That's it.
If you understand what I'm saying in the comments, let me know below, so I don't feel alone. Like I'm the only nerd here.
It's pretty
I
much just
like,
you, Clay.
yeah, it's been like that my whole life. It's okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like how you framed bringing notes to the examiner and just being non-combative is the word I would use. You know, when you walk into that examiner's office, if you have notes, if you have statements, if you even have a completed DBQ from your physician or your referred care, where that looks like, bring that in, but don't be combative, saying, "Hey, I know you suck. Here's I did your job for you." Definitely take a breath. But I like how you framed it. Exactly like that is what I'm going to start recommending as well. So thank you for that, Jason.